Yeah.
And then we get pretty tight on the final numbers on 8th Street.
Good.
We should be able to make a determination on the HUD grant here pretty quick.
Cool.
So,
Yeah.
but Ryan, hey, we're going to meet tomorrow because Ryan's not
Okay.
we took away some of his storage area over there. So if he gets his, what he needs or what he thinks he needs, and we'd have to go back to the 96 unit project.
Okay.
That could be a deal killer for those guys. Sometimes you need those additional ones to make it pencil out.
Well, I guess if we can just figure out how much space he needs, we can squeeze it in there and we're, like you said, move it to the other side until, you know.
Marlon had a come. I haven't talked to him about it. Marlon said he was pretty adamant.
About keeping it
They
there.
didn't want to move it.
Well, if that jeopardizes a 120 unit apartment complex over storage.
A conversation.
Okay.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mic's on. All right, I'll go ahead and call the November 28th, 2023 City of Craig Council meeting to order. Liz, will you please do roll call?
Here.
Here.
Here. Here. Here. Here.
Present.
Well, not here for long.
Absent. You want me out that bad, Liz? Come on. All right, first on the agenda, we have the consent agenda, which consists of 1A, approval of the minutes for the November 14th, 2023 council meeting, and 1B, approval of bills through November 22nd, 2023, in the amount of $231,588.04.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
All right, I got a motion by Councilman Nichols, second by Councilwoman Heiser, to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next up, we will hand it over to Municipal Judge Jay Kramer, who will administrate the oath of office to the newly elected mayor and the newly elected city council members.
Raise your right hand, please. Repeat after me. I, Chris Nichols,
I, Chris Nichols,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Craig City Charter
and the Craig City Charter
and municipal ordinances,
and municipal ordinances,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of mayor for the city of Craig,
of mayor for the city of Craig,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations, Mayor.
Thank you, sir.
Come on, you gotta come back. Need your signature. Liz will get on me if I don't have you sign it.
Not legit.
Just so you know, Chris, I already checked. They won't swear you out when you leave. I tried. It could be.
All right, Mr. Butler. Please raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I, Nathan Butler,
I, Nathan Butler,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Craig City Charter
and the Craig City Charter
and municipal ordinances,
and municipal ordinances,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of council member for the City of Craig, Colorado,
of council member for the City of Craig, Colorado,
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, Councilman.
Thanks.
All right, terrific. Now, Mr. Duran. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Derek Duran,
I, Derek Duran,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Craig City Charter
and the Craig City Charter
and municipal ordinances,
and municipal ordinances,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of council member for the City of Craig, Colorado,
of council member for the City of Craig, Colorado,
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Looper?
Is that like a voluntary demotion?
Please repeat after me. I, Randy Looper,
I, Randy Looper,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Craig City Charter,
the Craig City Charter,
and municipal ordinances,
and municipal ordinances,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I will faithfully perform
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of council member for the City of Craig, Colorado,
of council member of the City of Craig, Colorado,
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I am about to enter.
Congratulations, sir. All right. And Mr. Tucker. Repeat after me. I, Luke Tucker,
I, Luke Tucker,
do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
the Constitution of the State of Colorado,
and the Craig City Charter
the Craig City Charter,
and municipal ordinances,
and municipal ordinances,
and that I will faithfully perform
and that I faithfully will perform
the duties of the office
the duties of the office
of council member for the City of Craig, Colorado,
of council member of the City of Craig, Colorado,
upon which I'm about to enter.
upon which I'm about to enter.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Perfect. I think that's everybody.
Thank you. Right before Councilman Kleinschmidt and Councilman Heiser run off, we'd like to present to both of you a plaque and a gift certificate, obviously for all your time and dedication, so come on up real quick if you don't mind. It's a certificate of appreciation from the City of Craig, recognizes and thanks Vicki Heiser and Tom Kleinschnitz for their dedication and commitment while serving the citizens and staff for the City of Craig, City Council of March 2022 to November 2023. So it's Mrs. Heiser's. And Tom's was March 2022 to November 2023. So obviously, these were both appointed positions, and I appreciate you guys stepping up and serving and helping us out and helping us get to this point. So we appreciate it. Thank you.
For the opportunity, I
course.
appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Glad it was short. Thank you so much. Today's been like Christmas.
Feels like Christmas.
Yeah.
Yep. Moving there.
Nathan, you're right here.
Mine's empty. Yeah, Jesse. Go see me.
Yes.
Right out there.
Vicky's creating a love jam.
Sorry.
I'm not sure if there's someone between us.
You got two mics or what?
You get two. Red is on.
One seated.
Okay. Well, first of all, I would like, as one of my first opening comments, again, thank Tom. I think Tom has taken off. Thank Tom and Vicky for filling in, stepping up and filling our vacant positions and the amount of time and everything that it did require. Next, I'd like to thank everybody and all the cooperation and everything I did receive out on the campaign trail. Tom made it hard on me. I had to work hard. So Tom was a good challenger and good contestant for the mayor. We kept the campaign clean, no bad stuff out there, so it's refreshing to see politics do that. So with that said, let's move on to item 2, approval of the agenda for November 28, 2023 council meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Councilman Looper moved to approve. Sorry, I gotta grab my stuff here. And Councilman Jackson, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None. Passes as presented. Presentations, none. City managers report. Peter?
Thank you, Mayor, and welcome to the new council. We'll make sure we try to get the emails appropriate. I sent my report yesterday to everyone, including council-elect. Did you all receive the report? Okay. So real quick, I'm not going to cover any of the items in that report, but I do have some areas that I wanted to just talk about briefly here. You probably saw the Craig Press news announcement concerning the March 31st shooting. Officer Daniel Molina and Moffat County Sheriff's Officer Deputy Curtis Luster, along with their respective departments, have been determined to have acted appropriately in this tragic incident. It's been over 240 days since that incident, and so I can't even imagine how difficult it's been for these two officers waiting for that determination. So it's good to see that happen, and for our departments, respective departments. And so now that the department has the final report, we can finish our internal affairs investigation. We had hired a outside contractor who started that process, and he couldn't finish it until we had that report. So that'll be the last step in our process to finish up internally. The second item I wanted to talk about, Mayor Nichols is going to talk about the meeting that we had with Tri-State today a little bit, but I just wanted to mention that our next meeting in 2 weeks, we will be presenting an intergovernmental agreement between the city and the county as we move forward with the selection of an intervener to represent us before the Public Utilities Commission in regards to Tri-State's submission of their recent electric resource plan. So in order to really have an effect on the process, Moffat County and the City of Craig will come together with the approval of the council, sign an intergovernmental agreement that allows us to utilize funding that'll be provided to hire an intervener to represent our position before the Public Utilities Commission. So I won't take everything, but Chris has got a few comments.
You took the brunt of it, so.
Yeah. Continue with some discussion about the police department. The third item on my list. After many years, the chief of police, Mike Cochran, will have a visit from the Colorado Association of Chiefs of Police, which is the only Colorado agency that can certify a police department. They're going to be here on Monday of next week. They are the certifying agent for the state of Colorado, and there's only 39 law enforcement agencies certified through that group right now. That includes sheriff's departments and police departments across the state. So if you get on their website, you'll see those 39 that are listed. So this is a unique opportunity for the city of Craig to once again have a certified police department. That certification expired 18 months ago, or I'm sorry, in 2018. The process to recertify started 18 months ago. And so we're anxious to see the results of that process, and Chief Cochran will be, I'm sure, updating you on his next report as to how that went. There's some benefits to that, too. We have seen severe increases in liability insurance related to police departments across the state. And we think that we have to check that out here pretty quick, but we think CIRSA offers a 10% discount. Just the general liability for a police department for the city of Craig, I think our cost is about $100,000 just for that portion of our general liability. And so that's a significant savings each year if that's true, and we should have information on that forthcoming. Also, departments that have certification, there's some departments that won't hire an officer unless they've worked within an accredited police department. And so, not that that's a benefit necessarily to us, but it's a benefit to the future of officers that want to advance their career. And I think they can do that right here, of course. Finally, our staff has been diligently working to prepare a couple of major projects that are commencing, which is the Upper River Corridor Project mobilization. We should see some of that happening this fall yet, or pretty quick here. Not sure how much they'll accomplish, but they'll primarily be dedicated to, I believe, the diversion side of the project when they come. And the project likely will continue through 2024, which means that the real benefit to the project probably comes in 2025. So the construction of that project is significant and as intricate and complex as the grant process and the capital stack that Melanie is managing for that project. It's incredible what goes in and how many years we've been working on that project to get to this point. Similar is the housing project on 8th Street. I mean, it's incredibly intricate and complex. Having not been a developer myself, our staff is working very hard, and the workload is exceeding our capacity, frankly, in many ways. So we're working longer hours. It's stressful, I can tell you that much, but it's something that we're all dedicated to, and we're making progress, and I think we'll get over the hump here in a couple of months. The federal grant process is exponentially burdensome for small staffs like the city of Craig or other communities our size. The engineering and legal resources that are required to pull off these projects is substantial, and without some of the talent that we've identified, I don't know how it's possible. I will just say that I'm not complaining, but that is the fact. When Colorado and most states have been moved to kind of a centralized granting process, they still have We still have DOLA, but so many of the programs that we have to pursue now is directly with the federal government. We're going to have to become adept at the federal acquisition regulation process, the procurement process, and managing those grants. And I can tell you that the staff has done an excellent job so far, but it's been a challenge. And I think that's all I had for tonight. If you have any questions on the report that I sent last night or the information I just provided, please, I'll entertain any questions.
Questions, Peter? Peter, I would just like to say, between you and Melanie and your rest of your staff, you've done such an outstanding job for the city in bringing in grant money. Derek, what was the last number? We heard something like 15 million.
15 or 17.
Million over the years that helps the city of Craig on our budget. And one of the reasons we're able to build a reserve and still have money to match grants with as we're going forward. So hopefully you'll let us know how we can get you some help more and staff so in the future so we don't burn you guys out. Because that's our fear, and I think it's been a concern of council for the last couple years. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's it. Nothing else? Let's move on to council reports. Nathan, you're going to be new to this, so I will kind of go down, flip sides every other meeting or so. So you're not the last one that speaks where everybody else said something, but would you like to say anything, or?
I don't have anything in particular other than thank you to everybody that voted.
Okay.
And that, yeah.
That's good. You'll be assigned some liaison positions to other groups. I guess we'll do that after the first of the year, adjust that chart. Right, Peter? So that'll be on the agenda sometime.
Yeah, we also have the CML training that we want to plan after that next appointment's made to fill the vacancy. We'll have CML come in and do a thorough training so everybody's acclimated to the process in Colorado for a home rule community. And what was the other piece that you mentioned?
Just reassigning committees.
Yeah, the committee process. You'll have to go through that. Yeah, why don't we wait till after the first year? That's great.
First of the year,
Yeah.
we get the vacant position filled. That would be my recommendation. So,
Okay.
good, council? Derek?
Not much meeting-wise, just due to the holidays, and November planning and zoning and EDAC were canceled because we'll have a joint meeting in December for economic development, which will be the 11th. So I'll be attending that. There is an Moffett Airport Board meeting that same day, which we'll have to figure out. I'll probably pass that on to Luke since he's already on there. But then just, if you've been throughout town, I was out west the other day and I noticed that RV park broke ground, which was exciting to see. The project on the corner of Ranny and Victory, which I'm sure everyone's aware of, is broke ground. 8th Street's rolling along. I heard yesterday that the old Cashway, or the old church, I guess, had sold, and that's now going to become like a warehouse for the Napa building, which will be like a regional hub. I guess that owner owns 5 or 6 stores, so he purchased that building to increase his inventory and kind of become a hub. So, I heard that yesterday from John Panikovar. So, that's kind of, I imagine that's going to bring more warehouse jobs and some delivery jobs to this area. So that was good to hear, and it sounds like he's making some improvements. So a lot of stuff going on. Attended a couple bid walks out at Loudy Simpson 2 weeks ago. They are going to improve one of the baseball or softball fields next spring. Kind of do the new fence and new backstop, kind of mimic what we did at Woodbury. New infield, new clay, sand, everything, new grass. So that's good. And they are going to build a new concrete path on the softball fields to the north. So there'll be a new nice sidewalk that'll connect the parking lots in Whittle of Wood. So they're putting some money out there, which is good to see. and I think there is some, I think that area is now becoming importance to the commissioners. I think they've heard enough, and so hopefully they'll follow through and keep developing it. And then other than just the river project, I'm surprised that we've had that project underway for 3 or 4 years, for working on it. And I ran into a couple people yesterday and said they knew nothing about it until they read the article. So I said, "What's going on at the river?" So, well,
That's been
big
5
project.
years?
Yeah, so 5 years. So thank you for covering that, and it's good for our community to know what's going on. So other than that, be pretty slow in December due to the holidays, and probably first of the year we'll get going again.
Okay. Mr. Jackson?
Oh, yeah. Didn't have any meetings. Got one I gotta look back into. But I also wanted to thank Tom Kleinschnitz and Vicky Heiser. Appreciate you guys putting in the time and work. And then the new council members, appreciate you guys stepping up and being up here to help us out. And that's all I got.
Mr. Looper?
I only had a MRH meeting this last week. They're still doing really well. One of the things that they're in the process of doing is they got a bid and they're going to switch their lab from St. Mary's to Mayo, starting basically the first of the year. Basically because of the reliability of test results and the support that Mayo's going to give them versus St. Mary's. So I thought that was interesting. Also, they do a monthly quality performance dashboard that they present in their board meeting. And one of the things I thought was really nice is to see that, but also that the patient's experience part of that over at least the 3 months I've been doing has been consistently meeting or exceeding their benchmarks, which, considering where the hospital used to be, I think that's pretty amazing that you're getting that much of a positive response from the public that is using it. So I thought that was pretty cool. I also attended the Parade of Lights, and it was great. It was packed. I mean, it was cold, so a lot of people were in their cars, but it was packed. And so I thought that was really cool. And then I've been helping with Community Kitchen, and I just wanted to let everyone know who doesn't that that's an amazing organization. They fed over 350 people on Thursday for Thanksgiving. Did over 40 turkeys, over 150 pounds of potatoes, 100 pounds of yams, just tons of food. And they're not only doing that on Thanksgiving, they're doing 220 to 250 meals every Tuesday and Thursday. So it's just an amazing thing and then finally, and I'm also helping out on the play, just for a reminder, the musical James the Giant Peach is this Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So that's it.
Thank you. Mr. Tucker, welcome, and
Well, no, I guess the only thing I can report is we had a meeting with the engineer and the contractor on the runway project out at the airport, and the runway and lighting will be, there's a proposed start date of July 7th, so that'll be a 60-day shutdown of the airport, but and hopefully that works out. We're at good dates and we get some good weather to get that done. So,
are you moving to Hayden for 60 days?
I don't know where we'll be. That's a problem, but we'll deal with that.
Okay,
Yep.
thank you. Peter, let me start out a little bit with Peter and I and Shannon. We met today with representatives from Tri-State. They give us a first look at their ERP, Energy Resource Plan. It's going to be given to the Public Utilities Commission as of Friday, the 1st. They will be, the PUC kind of takes it from there, and with Tri-State and the other stakeholders in the lawsuit will determine if Tri-State's Energy Resource Plan supporting it, areas they won't support, or change some things. That is their projection for their energy needs and facility needs for the next 5 years. 4 or 5? 4. Okay, I stand corrected there. So they're projecting out what they're going to need in resources, how many megawatts they need of energy. So I am not allowed to go over it right now, in detail because it hasn't been introduced or given to the PUC yet. Only thing I will say, dates have changed. So kind of be on the lookout for that once you hear it. It wasn't a very friendly meeting. I mean, no, Tri-State was very friendly. Wasn't a very positive meeting for the community and City of Craig. Peter talked about the attorney. It's an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with Moffett County, the City of Craig. Just Transition is actually funding through the Just Transition Fund this attorney, which is experienced in these affairs working with the PUC. This will be the only voice through the hearing process that our community will have, is this attorney. They can either support Tri-State's ERP, make changes to it, but their decision would be final. So we're hoping that they can work on some other things, everything stemming from water rights, the transmission interconnect, what they're going to do with facilities, and then also trying to keep some generation of some sort here as well. Jobs, trying to work on jobs. So they will represent the City of Craig, Moffett County, and the other special districts in this process. So the only other people who are at the table are the PUC, Tri-State, and the other interest groups, special interest groups. So I compliment Just Transition for stepping up, helping us with this process, because we'd be at their mercy and we have to settle for whatever comes out of, their community assistance and what the future of the power plant looks like. So more to come on that. I'm sure the paper will cover it more Friday once it's public. And so the employees were told today. The CEO was in town and talking to them, so I'm sure the word will get around faster. I went to AGNC last week in Rifle. One of the most interesting things we did, we went to Eco Dwellings in Rifle. So it's recycled galvanized metal studs they make on site. They finish these houses. They're prefab sections that they can come and put together on site. Rifle is doing a 63-unit development out by the hospital for affordable housing. It's their stab at affordable housing. So I was asking them, so they had a 900 square foot, 2-bedroom model that they have on display. And I said, so what's your total cost? Including the land, and they developed the whole process from start to finish. It was $300,000 for a 900 square foot unit. So I think our 8th Street project, with where we're starting at 260, 250, somewhere around there for a 1-bedroom, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be, probably closer to 275 at this
Okay.
point. Yeah.
So 275, so we're
Two-bedroom.
2-bedroom, yeah. But only 900 square feet, so I think we're in the ballpark with it, and we're right on target with where we're going with affordable housing. Parade. Well, I could say I was in the parade. The Northwest chapter of the Parrot Heads won first place on the parade with the float that the club worked on. I just said, Randy already covered, it was a great parade. It was cold, and a lot of people were out there, and a lot of people were on the parade route. And again, we've been saying this a lot, Downtown Business Association, you're doing a great job. Keep up the events for the community. That's one thing. Candy and her group have been doing an outstanding job. Thursday, we go to another meeting with Tri-State on their community assistance agreement. They're again required by the litigation on the lawsuit that started this whole process to provide some community assistance. The city and the county are in negotiations with Tri-State with what that will look like. And we don't have anything nailed down. The city and the county have given the media or the facilitator for the group a wish list of projects, and we'll have to see how that kind of marries out. We've been trying to tell Tri-State from day one, we just don't want a check and the plant imploded. We want jobs, we want valuation in the community to stay, we want the water to stay, so that's what our talks have been. Some future dates coming up, so Thursday I'll have that meeting, December 1st, call it KRAI Christmas Drive at the mall. It's only going to be one day this year. December 2nd, Boys and Girls Club, Cowboy Christmas. It's at their event of the year, which is the largest fundraiser, as I mentioned, for the Craig branch of the Boys and Girls Club of Northwest Colorado. And December 6th, I don't know if everybody got this, but it's the public meeting for the state's climate action plan. It's going to be 5:30 at the Pavilion. So anybody that's interested in the state's climate plan, you can show up and participate. Any questions or anything else? Hearing none? Let's move on. Public hearing. Nope, I'm sorry, not public hearing. Public comment. There you go. Vicki, come on up to the microphone. Please speak into the microphone, because one of the biggest complaints I've heard when I was out campaigning,
Yep.
we can't hear the meetings.
Hear them all the time.
So,
So, good to be back. It feels like home. I'm so happy. Thank you all for the opportunity to prove what I already knew, that I didn't like it. So I usually give everybody, the new guys, a break until after the first of the year, but I'm just going to get right down to business this time. It was mentioned that we were going to have a workshop, 2 workshops actually, one on the Airbnbs and one on the liquor license board, Craig's thing. So I hope that we still do that, because,
we'll keep, yeah,
and I will be there,
okay.
because I'm very interested in that, particularly the license, the liquor license.
Okay.
I'm still sore on that one. So, and the other thing is, well, thanks for, the new guys joining, but I always remind everybody, and this is nothing personal, but I remind everybody each year after election that your primary responsibility is to represent the people of Craig and the city of Craig. So you're not supreme rulers and you don't get to make all the decisions. You need to listen to the people and then go with that. So I say that every year, and I know some of you hear it every year. So I'll say it again next time, every 2 years, yeah. Well, every year, every election year. My calendar now goes, 1 week is actually 2 weeks, and 1 year is actually 2 years. So I'll get over that. But thank you, that was it.
Thank you.
Good to have you back.
Yeah. I guess I should have said that we should start out that only city council can only act on matters that are on our agenda. So we try not to have interaction on public comment. We can't do anything or take any action. What we can do is refer to city staff, for them to research, come up with an answer, and make contact. So we try not to get in the weeds or any further discussion during public comment. So just so new council members are aware. Peter, you sat up. You got anything? Nope. Okay. Any other public comment? Hearing none, let's move on to item number 7, public hearing. We have none scheduled. Moving on to item number 8, other business. Approval of an application submission for the Department of Local Affairs More Housing Now grant in the amount of $2 million. Peter? Shannon, sorry.
Yes, good evening, Mayor, Council.
I should have known you were here for a reason.
I just come for fun, So we were approached a few months ago by a housing developer that is looking to put an apartment complex over on Woodbury Drive and First Street. For the existing council members and the new council members, you may recall that this was our prime developable property that arose from the housing needs assessment that was conducted back in 2021. So in the memo, it states this is going to be between a 96 to 120 unit complex. I actually misspoke when I said it's going to be 1 and 2 bedrooms. It's actually going to be a mix of studio apartments, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units. We're targeting the 80 to 120% AMI range. These will be rentals. We're still really early on in the process, so we still have to present this to planning and zoning and get it replatted and rezoned. So as we've been working through the process, the developers actually have a grant writer on their staff. And she pointed out that this grant opportunity was available for the infrastructure for the project. So we ran it by our regional DOLA rep, who encouraged us to apply for this grant. The infrastructure itself, the total project's going to be about $5.7 million just for the infrastructure. Total project itself is going to be about $25 million. So we are looking to pursue this grant for a portion of that infrastructure cost in the amount of $2 million. We have been working the last several weeks on this grant. It's actually due on Friday, but we are coming to you all this evening to get your blessing to go ahead and submit that grant this Friday. Does anybody have any questions?
So this 2 million, does it have a match?
It does.
And we have those funds, or?
Right. So, as you might recall, we did get a congressionally directed spending grant. I believe it was last year in the amount of $979,000. This particular grant only requires about, I think it's $680,000. We're working through the HUD process right now just to ensure that that money can be utilized for the matching funds for this project. Some of that might be utilized for the H Street project as well, but that's our intent, is to utilize a portion of that for this match.
Cool. Good.
Shannon, you said that's due Friday?
Yes.
So when would the award be, potentially?
They have notifications in February of next year, and then the actual funding decisions in March, which...
Give staff enough time to rezone and
Right.
all that?
I believe our intent is to have that done in the next couple of months. There's still a couple of studies that we need to get done as well. We'd like to have those done before the end of the year, but yeah, our intent is to have all the P&Z stuff done either in December or January.
But what's our control on a project like this, since we have a private developer coming in versus the 8th Street, where we're the developer, but private development, affordable housing, it's our property, our infrastructure. What's that look like in the future? Like, how much stake do we have in this project?
Right. I think, Peter,
Or control, I guess.
I think we're still in negotiations with that right now. Essentially, this project would be run through the housing authority. The proposal right now is for it to be a ground lease, so we wouldn't essentially be giving the property away, but there would be some stipulations as far as that's concerned. Obviously, they would have the latitude to pick, their contractors and the folks that'll actually build, the apartments. But I think we'll just have to see kind of how that pans out once we get to that point.
The piece that we bring to the table on this project is the affiliation with an entity that can offer them tax abatements for the project, which makes it feasible for them to do. And so by affiliating with the city, with the housing authority, we form a kind of a limited partnership on paper that is contractually obligated to provide some of those things, but they virtually have most of the control of the project. We'll have some input into design and possibly into management of the property. That's going to be a key piece that we're going to be interested in having some input on.
No, and that's kind of, the management was kind of my concern. Woodbury's obviously a large asset for the city of Craig, and like to protect that, but obviously this is a great
Right.
piece of land and a great development opportunity as well, so.
And this is a workforce housing project, so this is not a low-income project. This is 80 to 120% AMI. And so, I don't know, what the bottom end is, 50,000 income?
Yeah, and I was looking through as part of this process, and I think we touched on this at a couple council meetings ago. So we had a market study conducted specifically for this site, but it also takes into consideration, they call it like a project management area. So all of the developments that are happening in Steamboat and Hayden and just, down the valley, just to make sure that we can in fact absorb, these properties. And within that, they set for some price ranges for like, the 1 bedroom, 1 bath, we're looking at like $1,150. 2 bedrooms, 2 bath, and that's at an 80% AMI. So like 100% AMI for the 1 bedroom, 1 bath is like $1,500. High end 3 bedroom, 2 bath at the 120% is like $2,500 a month. But this market study that was conducted has essentially stated that they anticipate absorbing 20 of the units per month for 6 months. So within 6 months, that apartment complex is basically at capacity, it's full. So that was really reassuring for us to be able to support that in conjunction with the 8th Street project and all of the developments that are happening in Steamboat and Hayden.
Shannon, you mentioned we need to rezone the property. Are you going to wait until negotiations and the grant are successful before you go through that, or are you going to do that anyway?
I think our intent is to go ahead and get that rezoned regardless, and start that process in conjunction with the timing of the grant.
And the community will have input on part of the zone change process. This public hearing will be held. The community will have opportunity at that time to voice their concerns. I'm sure Woodbury will have some concerns, but they'll have ample voice at that period of time. Any other questions? Well, we have to take action on this. DOLA requires approval from the city council, so entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the application submission for the Department of Local Affairs More Housing Now grant in the amount of $2 million.
Second.
Second? Okay, we have a motion and second. Councilmember Duran, motion, and Councilman James, second. Any further discussion on such motion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? It passes 6-0. Next item, 8B, discussion and action to approve the process of soliciting letters of interest to fill vacant council member spot. With me being elected on mayor, I had 2 more years until next election cycle. And my term left, I have to vacate that position to accept the mayor, which I did. So my seat, Councilmember Jackson, I'm not sure who else would be up, but in 2 more years. So the process we followed in the past, we have posted and look for solicited letters of interest, and then we'll schedule interviews before a council meeting, probably in January. More than likely, we'll only have 1 meeting in December, so due to the holidays. So, council, are you all right with following the same process? Kind of have to, because we set precedents in the past.
Is there, what's the amount that it is, or that we solicitate letters? Is there a minimum?
Time-wise, or 2 weeks?
I don't know if there was in the past.
2 to 4 weeks, something like that.
Yeah. Heather is online. She can answer that question, but I guess what we do, direct staff to post the position, and they'll take it and run with it from there.
Okay.
Heather, are you online and saying how long we have to post it? She's not?
Yeah, now she's on.
Okay.
Okay, you can go, she should be able to hear you now. She just got.
Sorry, my internet connection dropped off.
Heather, we had a question of how long, what time frame, how long do we post this council member position?
So I think in the past we've posted and Liz has done the posting, but I think it's been about 2 weeks. I don't think you have to post any longer than that.
Okay, well, with the holidays, and like I said, we'll have to have letters in before the first council meeting and in December, so we can schedule an interview and hopefully make an appointment on that meeting. That sound good, Heather?
As long as you all are comfortable with that time frame, that certainly is good with me. If if we don't, because of the holidays, receive, the amount of applicants or potentially any applicants because of the holidays, then certainly we could always extend that application period.
Well, I'd like to.
Yeah, that's my only concern with not
Okay.
having the December meeting is maybe not, with a lot going on, maybe not receiving as many letters or getting the word out,
Okay.
but we can just play by ear.
No, I've already heard interest from about 2 people that would like to run and are waiting for them to open that up.
So you have a concern, Randy, too?
No,
No.
I think that's fine. I think once we post it, we wait to see if we have interest. If we have the interest, then we just move on. If we're not, then we decide whether we want to extend it or not.
Right. Yep.
Okay, consensus to direct staff to post it and take action the first meeting in January, after interviews. All right?
Do we need a
Do we
consensus
need,
or a
do you
motion?
need a
Do
motion?
we need a motion on that, or just? Let me.
No motion.
No
A
motion.
consensus is fine. Mayor.
Consensus is fine? Okay.
It is.
You have consensus, staff. Please. Next item, discussion and action to nominate and select a new mayor pro tem. So at this point, we have a couple new members. I don't think you'd be interested until you get your feet under you. We have Mr. James, Mr. Duran, Mr. Looper, you've been here for 6 months?
6 months.
6 months?
I feel Derek, since he's already done it, would do, if he's willing, would be able to cover it again.
Is he moving?
Am I moving? I don't know, it's been awful cold lately. No, I'm not, no plans on moving, so if it fits in your time schedule,
Yeah, I would.
We'll make it work.
you'll make it work. Hopefully, me being, pretty much retired, kind of semi, but pretty much retired, I should be able to make a lot of functions, but then it happens when you have conflicts, so. Do I have a motion then to,
So moved. I move that we nominate Derek as mayor pro tem.
Second.
Councilmember Looper made a motion, and second by Councilmember Jackson to appoint Derek Duran as the mayor pro tem. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, the pay is great.
There you go.
Now, moving on to item 9, discussions. We have none scheduled. Item 10, public comment number 2. Come on up so we can hear you. Oh, you're giving us a break. Peter and I had a discussion, and Vicki and I already disagree on this, of eliminating public comment number 2. Does council feel like that's worthwhile, or?
Well, in the past, I liked it when when there was one public comment, but it was at the end.
Right.
So if
That's,
Okay.
if the audience wanted
yeah,
to
I agree.
comment on what was on the agenda or what was
Okay,
maybe decided, then.
Right, I agree. I don't see reason for two, but one at the end makes more sense.
I think, I
okay.
You have to
That's
sit-
why I brought it up, because I've already talked with Peter about it, and I thought it was repetitious, but you have the floor, madam.
What's the harm of having two?
No harm.
Okay.
It's just been very poorly attended, or, that second comment, because you've been up here, so.
Right. Well, you can't hold that against me.
How many people have spoken the second public comment?
Me? Yep.
Not in the,
Okay, we'll get you up next after Vicky.
but that was after the public hearing. So that's why I'm saying the one,
And it's no harm, and if there is, I'll try not to abuse the second one, but I might.
we can always change the time limit on the second one.
Well, I like I like the first one because of whatever's going on in the community, whatever people are telling me, whatever. And it may or may not have anything to do with the meeting. And you can't always tell by the agenda what's going to happen in the meeting. I like the second one because then it has happened in the meeting. And if I don't get that second comment, then it's 2 and sometimes even rarely, but sometimes 3 weeks before we come back in. And then I've lost my steam and I'm not quite so fired up. And I don't want to lose that.
Okay. Well,
Thank you.
I don't want to shun public comment, so we'll keep them from now.
Thank you very much.
For now.
for now. Yeah, I would say it's good to have it, because if they read the agenda, they can come in and say something if they need to speak on something before we talk about it. But then also, if we come to a decision during the meeting, they still have that second comment to come and clear things up if they need to.
Okay. All right, let's move on then.
Phil,
Any other public comment? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 11, staff report. Bruce, financial report for October 2023.
All right, good evening. This is our financial report as of the end of August. We've got highlighted some of our main revenue sources here. This is the countywide sales tax that we get 37.5% of. As you can see, for the actual year to date, it's about 8.5% above what we anticipated. So about $533,000 more. Budget to actual, a little bit more, 13.56% versus budget versus actual, so about 195,000. So we're ahead of the stage at this point. City sales tax, actual, we're ahead at 5.37%, which relates to about $357,000 versus actual last year. Actual to budget, we're ahead 9.38%, which is about $600,000 more than we originally anticipated we would get. This is a breakdown of the month, shows the different activities within the categories. Like the main one that comes in is the retail grocers, and you can see that's up quite a bit. And then there's retail general and et cetera all the way down. So you kind of see where the different increases and decreases were for the month. I know it gets kind of small.
Bruce, do you
Yes.
you have any concern where our percentages are starting to flatten out there for the year?
Yeah, I think Amanda mentioned that this next month, I think we have a decrease of 1.5%. So,
Decrease?
yeah. So it's kind of going down. We're hoping that it levels off and goes back up, but we'll have to wait and see.
You know, with consumers, I'm sure everybody's with inflation are strapped for cash and just spending what they can afford to spend, especially before the holidays.
Yep.
Maybe we'll have a good Christmas shopping season.
Well, that's what we were talking about too. Hopefully this November, December would be nice.
Okay.
And then this is similar, but it's year-to-date. The categories, you can go through there and see what's going up and went down. on those sales tax categories. The next one is the water fund. Actual year-to-date is ahead 2.67%, which equates to just over $72,000. Actual to budget, we're actually getting less than we anticipated, a minus 1.41%. A lot of times this happens sometimes when we do have an increase in revenue, or it could be because of the weather, especially water. If we have a wet year versus a dry year, that goes up and down too. So actual to budget, like I said, we're down about 39,000 year to date, what we anticipated. Wastewater fund, actual we're ahead 5.12%, which equates to about $86,000. Actual to budget, we're ahead 3.27%, which equates to about $56,000. Solid waste. This is the construction dumpsters. Actual, we're ahead of 4.09%, about $8,000. And of course, actual to budget, we're ahead 24%, just over 24% for $39,000. This is the collection fee, the $11 collection fee for the garbage. And so actual ahead 3.46%, which equates to just over $23,000. And actual to budget, we're ahead 4.08%, which equates to about just over $27,000. Landfill fees, which is the other part of the cost of garbage. Again, actual we're ahead 3.29%, and in, that equates to just over $21,000. And actual to budget, 3.69%, which equates to just over $24,000. These are the different funds. Each is kind of like for some of the new ones, like a business, they have to have their own expense and revenue within that particular fund. The first one, which encompasses a lot of the different departments, as you can see the expenses there. But total revenues year to date, we've collected 55.7%, and the next one will be detailed what that equates to. Expenses, operation, and maintenance, we spent about 75% year to date. Capital projects transfers, about 50% year to date. And so we're still within meeting our budget requirements. The general fund revenues, you can see the taxes, we've collected about almost 83% year to date. License and fees, we've exceeded that by 151%. The one that kind of pulls this whole total down is the intergovernmental. Some of these grants will be carried forward into next year's budget, and some we're still waiting for some of the approvals and stuff, so sometimes it takes a while to get that in. So, but we have budgeted a lot of this into next year because of the projects and getting the grants secured. Charges for goods and services, most of this is Park and Rec revenue, and you can see it's already exceeded 100%, it's 112.6%. Fines and costs is way up, so again, that's 183%. Miscellaneous revenue, which is interest, we're getting a lot more interest than we have in the past, so you can see that's 446%. And in contributions, year-to-date 60%, and so that total finally at the end is 55.7%. Capital project, which pays for the curb and gutter projects and stuff and sidewalks, we received 87% of the revenue year-to-date, and we spent 71%. The museum fund, you can see the revenues is about 107% that we received year-to-date, and expended almost 80%. The water fund, we received 66.3% year-to-date. What pulls that down, obviously, is, again, the grants. some of that would be carried forward into the next year also. But you can see the revenues up here, the percentages are up from what we anticipated. And so year-to-date, we spent 45.2%, and again, it has also to do with the grants related to these capital projects. And some of those we've already rebudgeted into next year. Wastewater, we received 65% year-to-date, and again, you can see we've got the grants there that we're still working with, and that'll be, again, carried forward. And the expenditures, 41.2%, and that related grant for the capital projects, again, that's what pulls those percentages down. This is a solid waste fund. We received 91.7% year-to-date and expended 52.7%. The medical fund, this is where we transfer the money in to pay for the medical benefits, and we also pay premiums out of here, so we've received almost 87% year-to-date and spent 82%. The Craig Housing Authority, this is the fund that contains that, and we received 39.5% of revenues year-to-date and spent 57.1%. Craig Urban Renewal Authority, again, there's not much activity there, just trying to get that going here. Any increase in sales tax in those areas, an increase in property tax will go into here to pay for expenses and for future projects. And again, we're just getting going on this. Our funds, Colo Trust, you can see we're making just over 5.5% on Colo Trust. And then similar 5.54%. That's the average, or 5.53% monthly. So that's the report. Any questions?
So this Colorado Trust money, is it liquid? In other words, you can draw on it, or?
Yes. So the city has to have their funds invested and secured with other federally funds. And so anytime, whether it's the bank, Colo Trust solely has for municipalities, school districts, counties, and they back all this with federal securities. And so they have to make sure that these are all. But yes, it is liquid. Yes.
As we're projected in next year at, what was it, 23.7 million excess. So that's kind of where that money.
Yes, yes, exactly.
Reserve at the end of 2024.
Yeah. And again, the interest depend on the economy and where things are at. I mean, a couple years ago it was down to like 0.15 or whatever,
Right.
but it's up now. So
No, 5% is better than the stock market lately.
yeah,
I
exactly.
think it was below 1.
Yeah,
Back in
yeah,
2017.
yeah. That's true.
0.08.
Yes, yes.
No, you almost paid to put your money in. Any questions for Bruce?
All right. Thank you.
Bruce, thank you for hanging in there still. You know, we're not quite over the hump, but getting closer, right, Peter? All right. Yeah. Okay. Staff reports, 11B, water and wastewater reports. Carl.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Council. So I noticed the order in the packet is kind of a little different than the order that we usually present these in. We usually start out with the summary, so I'll start out with water for the month of September.
That's not it.
No. There it went.
Okay.
Up.
Oh, that's.
Up one more.
How's that one? Oops.
Yes.
This one here.
It's not in here.
Is that one's not in there?
Oh.
I thought he just
Wait a
saw it
minute.
go by.
Wait a minute. Let me go up the page. There you go.
There you go. Okay. That's October, Bruce, but I'll get to October. We start out with September. So During the month of September, we maintained compliance with federal and state regulations for water quality and reporting. We met distribution system pressures and fire suppression needs as well as consumer needs. Our distribution foreman recertified as a certified backflow technician. Under maintenance and improvements, we did routine maintenance. We operated Elkhead Reservoir at the direction of the Colorado River District and did maintenance and groundskeeping on that. Water treatment plant personnel continued to paint city fire hydrants in that new paint scheme that we have, so we were able to get quite a few done. And we had 2 service line repairs in the distribution system and 11 new taps, most of which were for the 8th Street project. And we assisted the wastewater department with oxidation ditch cleaning. For water, we produced about 70.2 million gallons of drinking water, and that averages out to about 2.3 million gallons per day that we produced. And then we have our graphical representation of what went on. So in September, we didn't have any real breaks. We had service line issues. And we also had typical line locates and turnoffs and things like that. So for October, similar kind of operation. We complied with state and federal regulations and met our flows and consumer needs. And we had a very difficult water break on Ledford Street and the 500 block of Ledford Street that was complicated by some old abandoned service lines that were in there. We had a difficult time finding the source of the leak, which turned out to be one of those old abandoned lines. But the water was flowing along the conduit for fiber along Ledford Street, and so our leak detection equipment was leading us astray, and we really had to do a lot of digging on Ledford Street. So apologize for anybody that had to be part of that. Ledford Street was kind of a mess while we sorted that one out. It was very difficult to figure out what was going on. Due to water quality, we saw a significant decrease in chemical costs for October. So that's good for our bottom line. And it reflects seasonal changes, but it is good to see that. And for maintenance and improvements, similar operationally, the only other thing of real notice is we were contacted by Steve Hilly regarding having some fire hydrants for the dog park. And so the water plant staff came up with some creative paint schemes for those hydrants. We talked with Chief Mercer too to make sure he was okay with that, but there is a picture of the finished product in the packet. So they're painted to look like Dalmatians since they're fire hydrants. So,
Cool.
So yeah, so it was hopefully they're getting some good use at the dog park. They were going to pour some concrete. I don't know if they got them installed there yet or not, but and we had 12 service line taps, again, mostly with the 8th Street redevelopment project. And we produced on average about 1.2 million gallons of drinking water a day. And then some more statistics on line locates and hydrants flushed, and one water break on Ledford Street, and a service line repair on School Street. And one upgrade and one frozen meter, so we're already starting to see the frozen meter issues and frozen service line issues. It's been a little bit cold and people don't have things insulated and tend to have issues. And then for wastewater treatment, we complied with state and federal regulations and did our maintenance. We treated on average 847,000 gallons in the month of September and 29,400 gallons of hauled waste. And we finished drying the biosolids, and in September they were ready for land application. And in October they were actually trucked out to Moon Farms, which is our new application site, and they were land applied, I believe, on the day before Thanksgiving, on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So have that in an upcoming report. Collection system operation, we had 96 locates, did our 0.52 miles of sewer cleaning as part of our annual program, and 0.75 miles as part of our routine collection system cleaning. We had, for collection system correction, we had 1 hour respond to standing water and a drain pipe at Clay and First. The main was hydraulically clean. The operator encountered obstruction. It was cleared. There was no property damage reported to us. And we assisted other departments to analyze Maybell samples and also worked on locating manholes for the acoustic assessment. So the acoustic assessment that was approved by council that we did has now been wrapped up, and I have some data back and also a geodatabase file, and we're going to start working on those areas that were identified to have problems. So for any of the new council members, this is where it's a company that came in and sent some tones up and down the sewer lines, and then by listening to what was received back and some interesting algorithms on processing that sound, they can determine what kind of blockages there are in the collection system. And so we now have a map showing all that, and we're going to import the geodatabase into our GIS system, so we have that available to us as well. And also they rated all the condition of all the manholes and lids and barrels and everything, and took photographs of all that. So it's a very good database. They were unable to access some of the manholes, and so what I've discussed with them is they can bring the equipment back out and let us use it, and we can get some of these difficult manholes that are in yards and under fences and things like that, and use their equipment to finish that up.
You get any citizen concerns about the tones?
No, and I didn't receive any about the tones.
They're kind of freaky.
Yeah, they're interesting.
You're looking outside. What in the world is that? Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was louder than I thought. But yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty loud.
Okay.
And then for October, again, we complied with our regulations and did our maintenance. About 890,000 gallons of wastewater and 31,850 gallons of hauled waste. Biosolids transported, as I mentioned, and 88 locates and 0.13 miles of sewer main for our annual cleaning. We had a backup complaint on West 8th and Finley Lane. Homeowner stated the drains were slow. The main was flowing well, and it was also not in this report, but it was hydraulically cleaned, and the homeowner had reported that they had had issues with roots in their service line before, so that's likely what the cause of that was. And we assisted other departments and analyzed Maybell's wastewater samples. Do you have any other questions for me?
Biosolids disposal. Did you say we moved to a new site?
Yes, we got a new site permitted based on the lease agreement with RWE taking that over, and so that was transported out to that site, and then just recently land applied.
How's that moving forward, Peter? Is that still?
It's they have a 3-year lease option, and I think it's going to be another year or two before they have to have a contract for transmission before they can develop that site. they're paying for all of the transportation costs to the new site. They paid for all of the transfer or the permitting process, which took, what, the better part of a year to get the permit actually moved to the new site, so we get land apply out there versus the other site. So at this point, we're in good shape. They paid for all legal fees for the development of the contracts and the agreements that we put together. So we're just waiting for them to move and execute the lease option. If they choose not to, we'll probably go back to the old site for land application. So,
The new council members, that was for a solar field out on city property, Thompson Hill, where?
yeah, there's 160 acres that's close to the power plant, the transmission out there. They're looking at, well, they initially were looking at about 125 megawatt field out there on close to 1,000 acres with battery backup storage. I'm not sure. It seems like their plans are changing at this point. So we'll have to see where that goes in the next year or so.
Okay.
Oh, I might mention too that the lease rate is substantial on the 160 acres, where before we had no income on the property, virtually no income. The lease rate would offer us a six-figure lease each year if they move forward with the project. So.
And I just would like to mention too, the other permitted site, there are several areas and it's irrigated, so we should not have problems using nitrogen. And so the site is favorable other than the trucking costs going out to it, but gives us a lot more ability, and the farmer is creative and plants some crops that use the nitrogen, and he really gets beneficial use out of it.
So we'll have less smell complaints, you're saying?
Well, it will still be dried at the same site, so a little bit less.
Okay. Cool. Any other questions for Carl?
Any luck filling positions?
No, we have one interview scheduled tomorrow for distribution.
One's better than none.
Yeah.
That's it? Hearing no other discussion, item 12, closing remarks and informational items. I'm not sure what that always is for, but anybody have anything else council would like to say?
We could make that public comment number 3.
Okay. Peter, anything for number 12 from staff?
I don't have anything.
Okay. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Duran, motion to adjourn. Councilor Member Looper, second. All in favor?
Aye.
We're adjourned.